Hey, I want to apologize a little bit for the wind noise out there. It's March and April in Oklahoma, and we deal with a lot of wind. The crappie are getting closer to the bank. They're out there in those 8 to 15 foot brush piles. I hope these video tips help you catch more fish. To move from a piece of structure up to the bank and back. So I'm going to be fishing anywhere from about 20 to 15 to 20 foot, 12 foot. Some days they're in 8 to 12 foot, some days they're in that 15, 18 foot range, but none of these brush piles are very far from the bank. And they're coming in, they're feeding on shad in the area, and these crappie are staging and setting up in the top part of these brush piles, and we're able to pick them off with the crappie kickers. Now, we don't catch a whole lot of crappie on one brush pile right now. 10 fish in a brush pile right now is a lot of fish, and a lot of times I'm catching more like 3, 4 fish per brush pile. So you need to have a lot of brush piles in that 8 to 15 foot range that you can move around to and pick these fish off. You might even be able to go back to the same pile in an hour and catch a couple more fish, but you need to pick the fish off that are using that brush with the crappie kicker or a go-go minnow if you like to cast, and see what happens. So today I'm using a Fle Fly 6 foot graphite classic spinning rod. I'm using the SR20 reel, 6 pound micro braid. I'm using 2 jigs. I'm using a monkey milk crappie kicker with a 1/8 ounce white big eye head and a 2.5 inch Buster Brown crappie kicker with a chartreuse head. And these are some Smelly Smack prototypes I'm just kind of working with, kind of a worm shape, the same material that our Smelly Smacks and the little beads are. Okay, now here we go with the electronics that I was talking about. I've got an HDS7 Lowrance right here, and you can see I'm moving toward my waypoints that are in the mapping. Now that's just the standard map that comes with the Lowrance. That's not an avionics or a special map. And I'm looking at my 2D color sonar, and a lot of times I'll try to verify between 2D color sonar and the DownScan. And I'm running the blue palette on the DownScan, and as you can see, I'm driving over some brush right there in about 17 foot of water. I zoom in and I'm looking for those crappie that are in that brush, and those are bigger marks than the shad that are all around the other the brush pile there. So and there you can see a little piece of brush left out there on the drop off, and I was fishing that entire structure.
Nice. Oh, he got off. There he is right there. I picked that fish off with my LiveScope. I seen him laying up there on the brush pile. I tell you what, guys, this technology is absolutely fantastic. Now that's the second fish that I've had. I lost one right up here at the top a little bit ago. Crappie kicker, Buster Brown, a little Smelly Smack prototype on there, 1/8 ounce big eye head, and up here I've got a white 1/8 ounce big eye with the monkey milk. So what I'm doing is I'm fishing a pre-spawn pattern, and got to check to see if this fish here is 10 inches with my crappie gauge. I'm fishing a pre-spawn pattern using my LiveScope, targeting laydowns and targeting brush. And boy, the one thing that you don't want to do is waste a lot of time on these brush piles right now. If these fish are here, they are going to hit within the first 5 minutes. Cover your brush pile and then go. He just made it, just barely made it right there. So we got us a Grand Lake keeper. I'm gonna see if I can catch another one. There we go. The old Buster Brown trick. All right, so I've started out with lost one and caught another one. No need to put that one in the crappie gauge. Hit the old live well with him, and let's see if we can do it again. So far today, everything's been hitting the Buster Brown, but a lot of times they're going to hit the bottom jig anyway. It just seems like that's what's going on. But we got that top crappie kicker on there just to throw a little different color contrast. Let's see if that's an active fish right there on top of that pile. Right out there on the very end of that limb. Didn't seem to pick him off. Now I'm gonna go back down into the wood a little deeper. This tree is huge, so it's given me an opportunity to move back and forth on it. I'll reposition my spot lock in several different places. Looks like we've got a crappie hiding out right there between those two forks. There he is. Oh, he hit it and I didn't get him. Check my jig. He hit the old, that's why we got the different color on there. That crappie laid there for a long time and then he ended up hitting the monkey milk. So let's get her back down there and see what happens. You don't have to do anything with these crappie kickers either. You got to remember the boat's out here going like this. There he was up there in that tree. I didn't stick around long enough. But the boats, the wind, every time the wind hits your line, all of that stuff is making the crappie kicker's tail move. You don't have to jig these lures. You just want to present them to the fish, and it's kind of like go-go minnow. You don't have to do a bunch of tricky stuff with the go-go minnow. Throw it out, reel it in. There he is. Another nice Grand Lake crappie right there. All right. So, anyway, that's what I'm doing out here today, guys. I hope this tip helps you. I'm going to see if I can mess around here and catch a few more. I know that this fish is going to be close to a Grand Lake keeper, but he might not make it. Now, how many of you guys catch crappie that big right there that just don't quite make it? It happens to me too, so we got to let that rascal go.
Thanks for watching and good luck out there.